Welcome everybody, I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Every Sunday night at 4 o'clock on channel 47.4 Retro TV. Our new station, really excited about being on it. We reach a much broader audience, and again, very much thanking you for tuning in and watching what we do. Each and every week we bring to the show some exciting guests that try to hit topics that are of interest to you here in Las Vegas, local issues that affect real estate prices, and your decisions to buy and sell. Certainly we get information given to us by all kinds of different people on the show, and we're happy to bring them to you here. I occasioned to see a film. It was prior to having it be released. It's called the Florida Project. I can't even say it, but it's called the Florida Project. Anyway, this movie, it's kind of a docu-movie about life in hotels for homeless in Florida, outside of Orlando. A couple things about the movie per se that I liked and I didn't like. One of the things that we try to do on the show is to bring positive and meaningful information to you so that you can be informed about what you can do with your real estate. Real estate is an exciting thing that you're able to buy and sell properties. You're able to do things to make yourself more money, maybe to help other people. Well, this particular movie was completely the opposite of that. It showed how people were at a loss for housing, how people and the state were divergent in whatever they were trying to do, and the movie itself became an exploitation of these people about their plight and about nothing and nobody willing to help. Well, on the show today, we're going to bring a guest who is going to talk about her story, about how she came to the United States and what led her to her career in real estate. And of course, we're talking about Untitled Chapter. Really happy that she's coming on the show because it shows the positive nature of real estate and how you can make money at it, but also how you can help other people. And I think in what we're trying to do with the show, by bringing you these kind of stories by these terrific people who can also show you a way to do it, that's what can help you out of your terrible and horrible situation, like the people in Florida during the Florida Project, which I really have to say that it was just awful. And the people I was seeing it with were, they just looked down upon other people in situations as if somehow it's because they were stupid or because they were white trash or because they just, you know, couldn't better themselves through their own struggles. Well, if you're like a lot of us who have come to Las Vegas, and this is not our first chosen place to live, you come here looking for other things, looking for a way to get up and get out, looking for a way to sort of improve or change or make a new direction in your life. Well, these are the type of things that Gentile is going to talk about that they didn't talk about in that movie, but what I want to make sure that this show is about for you. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton, your host in the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll be right back.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with Super Grow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your Super Grow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to internetretailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Every Sunday night at 4 o'clock. Thanks you very much for tuning in. We are on channel 47.4, Retro TV. Great station, new station for us. Really happy to be on it. And again, thank you for tuning in. We try to clue you in on some great ideas about real estate buying and selling. Maybe the best way for you to go about redecorating your house. Maybe you want to dig that pool in your backyard. Hey, you got to be careful. Water costs are severe. Other reasons why you need to be in that location, the school system, the distance to your job, transportation issues. Lots of different reasons why buying and selling real estate is more about knowledge-based than not knowledge-based. And we try to bring guests to you each and every week, which prove that out. This week is no exception. We bring to the camera and to us here on the show today, Untitled Chun, and she's an investor with a terrific story. Untitled, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
And thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, very good. So, if you don't mind, I want to ask you a little bit about your background, where you're from, how you got into real estate, what brought you here to Las Vegas, if you don't mind me asking.
Absolutely. I was born in Cambodia during the war, so lost my whole family. Basically, it's just mother and I that escaped. So we came here in 1980, landed in Houston, Texas. So that's where I grew up most of my life.
Okay.
And that's where I started basically working and then got into real estate. When I was 19, I bought my first property when I was 19, actually.
Okay,
Worked
great.
my butt off.
You know, when you, okay, it's tough upbringing, right? Now, there are a lot of people who come to Vegas from all kinds of different places, right? And a lot of people come here for a new start. I assume you came here for opportunity and a way by which you can continue your real estate career.
Absolutely. I came to Las Vegas right after 9/11. I actually originally came here originally as a gambler, you know, hoping that I would be a professional gambler, but that didn't work out because I lost a lot of money the first 6 months. So I had to get a job. So I got into real estate here originally to find deals for myself as an investor.
Right.
So originally to do that, but then I discovered I didn't have enough money, so there's no way I can buy all the properties. So that's why I started representing buyers and sellers.
I see, and it says under your bio that I've read that as far back as 2010, you were doing 60, 70 properties a year, which is a big number, right? I mean, in those days and today as well.
As an agent, yes, that's a big number. I definitely wasn't doing that many flips.
Right. Well, flipping is, well, tell us a little bit about flipping from your standpoint. What are some of the difficulties? What are some of the fun things that you like about it?
I love flipping because you're your own boss.
Right.
I oversee everything basically. So location is, you know, I mean, that's good if you have a lot to choose from. Then you have to evaluate how much it's going to cost to buy it, how much it's going to cost to repair it and renovate it, and then how much you're going to sell it for. So that's the three main things that you look at when you're trying to find an investment to flip.
What type of system? Did you develop your own system? Do you have like a book that you fill in the blank kind of thing where you figure it out before you even get involved with it? How do you work that?
You know, I kind of learned as I went, trial and error. Starting with my first few properties basically, and then there's no guidelines because there's a lot of different types of properties. You know, you're looking at foreclosure or short sale, distress homes or whatever. So there's not, you know, each property is a little bit different depending on what's required basically.
Right.
So, but I mean, I guess there is a certain format that you follow as an investor. You go in, you're like, okay, well, how much is this going to cost? You know, how much am I going to sell this for eventually? So in your head, you're working all these things as you're looking at a property already. So there is a certain format, but each property is different. I've bought many different types of properties. You go in and you know exactly what the cost will be, you know exactly how much you're going to sell it for, and I'm usually really close with my guesstimation of numbers too, you know, having been so experienced in it. But there are times when I have bought properties basically just driving by.
Okay.
So that gets a little more interesting. I've done a few of those. I don't recommend it to people, but you know, when there's not a lot of deals and there's a lot of competition, sometimes you have to
now.
Exactly.
Right.
You have to make that decision quickly. And you know, I have walked in to a property and going, oh God, please just, you know, let it be very minimal, you know.
Right.
Just, so that's the fun part sometimes. I guess for me, it's kind of like gambling a little bit. So I like that aspect because
the people who you deal with here in Las Vegas, now flipping here has been going on for a long time and has recently, up until I guess in the last year and a half, been pretty easy, right? You go out and find the properties and there was plenty of them. There aren't anymore. There's a lot of competition. Is it a collegiality or is it more like, you know, a dog on a piece of steak or something?
Right now, yes, it is. You know, once you find something on auction or trustee sale, I mean, there's other sharks out there already. You know, that's already evaluated, and you know, so yeah, you're kind of playing in the big leagues now, and you have to have the money. You have to have that financial backup already to be able to just get in and be able to do it.
Right. There's no loans involved. Everybody comes with cash in the flip market, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Mainly. I mean, once in a blue moon, yes, you know, you can get a hard money loan on it, but you'll have to have that money already available anyways to be able to buy it. You know,
now, quickly. If you were mentoring somebody and telling them, okay, here's real estate, what aspect of real estate would you tell somebody to get into? Do you think that flipping's good now? Do you think just being an agent, learning the business? How would you do that?
I think if someone's just getting into real estate, maybe being an agent, you know, so that you learn the tricks of the trades. You learn as you go, basically. And I think there's probably more opportunity as an agent instead of a flipper, you know, because, you know, as a flipper, you're going to have all these things already lined up to be able to flip and, you know, have the experience or have someone that has the experience. So if you want to flip, please contact me because I can definitely help you with that. But for someone getting into the business, being an agent, yeah, you have that couple years. That's going to be weird and awkward because you're trying to learn it. Right. You know, so that's going to be a little difficult too. But I guess a lot of agents start out as a part-time job. You know, they always have something else going on, and then they do real estate as a part-time job, and then they go into it maybe 100% after a few years. You know,
75% of the agents in the industry are female. A lot of females come into the marketplace, into the industry simply because they get married, they want to have children, but they still want to earn a living. So being in the real estate world, you can do both. And it's a great profession for that, to be able to, you know, have children as well as work, and you're not on a 9-to-5 schedule.
Exactly. Okay. You're definitely your own boss.
The real estate market went up 13% last year. We were talking off air about how maybe the agents and the people in the industry are trying to prevent the bubble from happening again, and we talked front end of the loan, back end of the loan, and things like that. What do you think about the rising prices? That's probably double what the national average is, and how long, or do you think it's sustainable?
You know, I feel that it's still sustainable now because, as we mentioned, you know, I think collectively, people in the industry now, after having experienced what happened in the past, I think collectively and subconsciously or consciously, we're kind of working together to not let it repeat itself. That's what I'm hoping, at least, you know, so.
Well, one agent at a time, right? I mean, if you're thinking that, I think that, that's two.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We have to work collectively to protect, you know, our economy, basically.
Right, exactly right. People coming into the market, new people, are they people that have been here renting and want to get into the market? What are you seeing as some of the trends?
I have seen lately a lot of my clients, new clients actually, are moving in from somewhere else because, you know, the cost of living is still very affordable here compared to the rest of the country. Right. So that's what I'm seeing. And a lot of my clients also want to get into the investment game. And, you know, I'm definitely here to help them with that as well. So.
If someone wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
My cell phone, 702-467-3131. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, even though I don't promote real estate that much on it. You know, it's more social stuff. But yeah, I'm everywhere. You can Google me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Couple things to follow up. Where do you think that the market, in terms of availability of properties, I know that we're down about 36% this year. Do you think we're going to see more building? Is there more building? What's happening in the real estate world in terms of availability of properties?
Well, I think our supply right now for resale is less than a month supply, so we don't have a lot.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we don't have a lot at all. And you know, there are new homes, but there's not standing inventory either. So the build out is about 3 months, roughly. You know, I think the last deal I did was about 3 months. I mean, not too long, but you know, not a lot out there at all. So the increase, I know that, you know, we're still increasing, but like I said, I think we're gonna not get too crazy though.
If you were to say somebody who's getting into the real estate business, obviously your background leads me to believe that you're not only a survivor, but someone who strives for more. I think Vegas attracts people who want to either be gamblers, obviously, or who want to make something of themselves financially here. What would be your advice that you could give somebody based on your background and your experience here?
Well, just whatever it is that you want to do in life, just do it. Don't be afraid. You know, just take a chance, just take a shot. It is hard, you know, certain things in life is hard, especially if you want to be successful. You have to get up, you have to work for it, you have to go and find it. You know, it's not just gonna come to you. So just don't give up and just keep on going.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you
I really
for having
appreciate it.
me.
We'll have you back again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll see you next time.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with Super Grow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your Super Grow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks very much for tuning in. We are here every Sunday night at 4 p.m. on channel 47.4, which you obviously are watching, or else you wouldn't really know what I'm saying right now. But thanks very much for tuning in to the show. We bring real estate to you, to your living room. We try to explain things like buying and selling, maybe bring you some insight from people who have done it in the past. This is an exciting time in an exciting city, and obviously the opportunities out there are immense. Real estate prices went up about 13% last year, and for those of you out there who are sitting on real estate, who have them entirely paid off, you might want to think about, is this the best time for me to take some money out of my property, maybe reinvest it, maybe find a better way to make a long-term living rather than just holding on to property and selling it at a later date? Well, we brought a couple of experts here today to talk about both that and some other things that are topics in the real estate world. And I want to welcome both of them here. Big Tex Robinson, who is our financial expert on the show.
How you doing?
Of course, I'm great, thanks, man. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for having me on.
And thank you, too. And Dante Scott, who is an entrepreneur as well as a real estate investor. Dante, how are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm great. Thank you very much. Okay, so I talked a little bit about what is happening in the real estate world and how we get from A to B if we're starting. But before we get to that, the nuts and bolts, there are a couple things that have happened in the last week here in Las Vegas about the Victims Fund, about what's going on for the shooting victims of the horrible events which took place. And how long ago was that now?
October the 1st.
Okay.
So it's been almost a little bit over 2 months.
Okay.
Almost 3 months.
$22 million has been collected.
Yes. It's a lot of money.
I want to just go through a couple of things here, and I want to make sure that I get it correctly so that I don't mess up. And one of the things that was irritating to me, I have a chart here, which I will put up on the TV so that you can see it. It's about the Vegas Fund, the $22 million, about handling the money, about what happens to that money, how people have to apply, What are the criteria to qualify? Now, I just know that when the country saw this happen, people went into their pockets. I did.
Right.
I gave money.
Yep, absolutely.
Now we have this large bureaucratic machine dictating how and when. How do we make this simpler? Is that right? Thoughts?
Well, my thing is, Jeff, if you came up with the fund, why are you putting these stipulations on there? In order to, number one of them is if you had some type of brain injury, your first position. If you had this, your second position. So why are we having the stipulations versus just collectively getting everyone that was affected by this tragedy? And then we can decide, hey, your medical bills are this, your medical bills is that, and so on and so forth. But now with these stipulations, I'm going to tell you why, is because when you see $22 million come in that fast span, this right here starts shifting gears.
Right. I think what go on, Donnie. I'm sorry. Jump in.
Well, I agree with that. I think I have two ways of thinking about this. And first, I would say when you do have that large amount of money, like the appropriation of that money does need to be monitored. Right. Because as you're saying, why shouldn't you just be able to go to the victims and take care of the victims? You absolutely should, but you're dealing with humans that are controlling that money. Right. And naturally, as humans, we're greed. Greed comes into play. Absolutely. So there should be some level of monitoring. Right. Now as far as all of the stipulations that's needed and the bureaucracy behind it, no, I don't agree with that. But I do believe we should monitor the appropriation of funds, yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm glad we got that up front because it's been bugging me. I've been reading about it since, obviously the holidays we were off for a little bit. And obviously we switched stations. As you all know, we're on 47.4 now. But in terms of, I know what it's like to be a victim of something. I know what it's like to be able to give money. I know when a person who is in need needs help right now. The immediacy of how that can happen, there seems to be a delay. I don't like it. I don't know how to fix it. And that's one of the problems that I don't have. How do you fix a problem like that, given that you have $22 million here? It's in a bank. It's making somebody some money. Absolutely. How do you fix this issue? How do you get the money directly to the people as quickly as possible? I don't know.
Well, one of the things I think is you should have someone it's all about allocation. Have someone designated to do these certain things. So if it's the three of us, you may have Dante designate to be able to reach out to the victims and find out what their expenses are. Right. Then I can oversee, when the funds get released. You oversee when the funds come in. So what's happening is all three of us are trying to do the same position. And so it's slowing up the process because they said now you have to have your name in by, I believe, the end of January.
The end of January 31st, that's the deadline. It was from January 1st to January 31st, from what I read in my notes.
Right. So, yeah, I most definitely, there is no one delegating. That's what I see. Everyone is trying to be the chief. So it needs people to be delegated so we can get this money out to them expediently as possible because these bills, medical bills are piling up. And another thing, what's going to happen, it's already happened, it's going to affect those credits, their credit. It's actually going to affect their credit. Because the hospitals, the doctors are going to start reaching out, and if they haven't collected the bill, it's going to affect their credit.
That's a great point. No, well, to just go off in a different direction, we're talking about credit earlier. We're talking about how to qualify for purchase of real estate. Now, obviously, these people, and there's not just the people who were killed, but obviously there were the people who were wounded, the people who are psychologically involved. There's a lot of people, maybe 500-600 people affected by this event, right? Wow. All of these people are going to maybe suffer a credit issue, a credit problem. How are you going to get those people to be able to either repair their credit, to get a house, or to be able to get a loan, or to be able to get into real estate? We talked about the traditional ways. Dante, you were talking about a different way to fund real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, there's different perspectives, right? And when you're talking about like the homeowner that's, looking to have a property to live in, yeah, there are different ways, but they will definitely be communicating from a different perspective than that, when I'm going into a property, the flipping and selling on retail value, but there's seller carrybacks, right? There's lease options, and no, they're not recommended, they're kind of frowned upon, but it's an option, until the credit get restored, right? To be able to lock that price in at a certain price to protect protect that asset. So I think there are, a plethora of ways, to
Let's slow that down a second. So you said you get into a contract which locks the price, but not necessarily you give the money right away. So while you're either repairing credit, while you're getting financing, you've locked in the price. Explain that a little bit.
So lease option, right? And it's just like any option, almost like the stock market, right? With put options and everything, where you're able to get into a contract with an individual. So it's two contracts, a lease contract and an option contract. And so that option contract, basically, we're saying, hey, look, I'm gonna lock this property down at $250,000 in 2 years. Now that gives me 2 years to get my credit to whatever level I need to get it at to be able to actually purchase this property. But it also leverages where I'm able to lock this price down and not have to worry about appreciation. Right? And so I think it is a creative tool that you can be used. And of course, I think people should proceed with caution and know what they're getting themselves into, because, there's a lot more to it than just, hey, signing a contract. You have to be able to protect yourself. Now, make sure that a seller doesn't back out and everything else. Do
you give them extra money up front for that option?
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. And that's all part of the negotiation phase, right? There's no black and white way of doing an option contract. But yeah, a lot of sellers would prefer you to put an option payment down.
I see. That's what it's called, option payment.
Yeah, to put an option payment down, a little bit more skin in the game to protect themselves also, right? And then they would usually most sellers kind of boost the rent up a little bit and then give you credits back. So it's beneficial for both the buyer and the seller. From an investor standpoint, it makes sense for me to lease option this property. And if I was a buyer, it makes sense because right now, it's scarce. Honestly, it is. The market is very competitive right now. It is definitely a seller's market right now. So
and the creative thing about that I love is both, if everything is executed the right way, both parties win.
Yeah. Right.
Because the seller doing that lease option probably have enough equity that he can walk away with, and then in 2 years, if that property appreciates, let's say $20,000, the buyer has a little bit coming in, like you said, a little bit of skin in the game. So both parties win. So that's a very creative way to
Now, Tex, you were talking about insurance and the underinsured buyer who is currently in the market, or the underinsured homeowner who is currently in the market?
Right. One of the things I want to dive onto, there's a lot of people out there that have your W-2 jobs, and you get this group insurance. So sometimes it can be just your salary. So if your salary is $50,000, you have this group insurance policy that you are covered if something happens. Well, if you own a $200,000 house, and if anything were to happen, well, you're underinsured. So I always tell people, any event, even though you have something on your employer, always look at a secondary too as well to be able to cover that. But you also want to leave a legacy back for your heirs too as well. So heaven forbid something happens, that mortgage is covered, your bills are covered, and your heirs are also covered too as well.
Excellent. Hey guys, thanks very much for coming on. We are up against the clock, unfortunately. That went by really quick. Really appreciate both Dante and Tex coming on the show. Thanks very much.
Absolutely.
I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll see you next time.